Breaking news. Israel at the moment is at war. According to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli woke up this morning and found it was an attack this Saturday. The Syrians' blood has more than 2,000 rockets launched at Israel from the Gaza Strip, which attempted to pummel the Jewish state, and Israel ran from bomb shelters.
Pictures from Gaza, they're showing Hamas militants celebrating and posing for pictures on what is said to be an Israeli army tank. Palestinian media are reporting that a number of Israelis have been taken captive by fighters. The footage also shows what appears to be an Israeli military vehicle captured by the militants. Our Middle East correspondent Jalan Nel is in Jerusalem and told us the size of the attacks is unprecedented.
In all my years of covering these rounds of violence, we haven't seen an infiltration on this scale. Really, it does seem from the videos that are circulating that there are perhaps dozens of militants who have crossed from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel. You've got unverified TV images that show them on motorbikes, in pickup trucks, even by a hang glider. Now, unconfirmed reports from Gaza are also saying that Israelis had taken back into the Palestinian enclave some Israelis, holding them captured, perhaps several soldiers. We're not able to verify that at the moment, but that would be a very worrying development indeed for Israelis. That brings back memories of what happened to Gilad Shalit, the soldier who was captured in a cross-border raid by Hamas militants back in 2006 and was held until 2011. Now, all of this looks extremely well planned by Hamas's military wing. Now, you can see in some of the videos that there are militants now who are filming themselves close to Israeli homes, that they may have taken some of those homes over. There are also videos filmed by Israelis where you can see people are in the street shooting, and these people say they can hear Arabic outside their windows.
This is extremely significant. In all the years that Hamas have been in control of Gaza, more than 15, they have never done anything like this. They have never launched a surprise attack on a number of different locations. Israeli security officials said an hour or so ago that there were 21 separate incidents going on. There's a lot of video circulating, not yet verified by the BBC, showing bodies of Israeli soldiers, some of whom were clearly surprised in their bunks even by the attackers. No one was expecting Hamas to do anything like this. Tension has been rising very strongly between Palestinians and Israelis. There's been a lot of violence in the West Bank, which is the territory that goes from Jerusalem towards the Jordan River, which has been occupied by Israel since 1967. That has been the focus now for months and months, and there's been a lot of killing and violence there, but nothing in comparison out of Gaza. So I think now the Israelis are using very strong language. They say they're in a state of war, they've been attacked, they've pulled up reservists, they're having this emergency meeting of their security cabinet, and I think it is highly likely that once the Israelis make their plans, that they will probably mount an incursion into Gaza. This thing is likely to escalate.
And Jeremy, the big question for our viewers will be why now? Because this seems to be a coordinated attack that would have taken a lot of planning as well. Why do you think Hamas is doing this today?
Well, they've called it something like Operation Jerusalem Flood. There's been tension in Jerusalem during the recent Jewish holiday, nothing on the scale that we've seen before, where there were Palestinians being pushed out by force out of the mosque there, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is the third holiest site in the world for Muslims, and it's also for Jews the site of the the ancient Jewish temple, and therefore venerated by them. It's the most single contested piece of ground really in the entire Middle East. And there have been some incidents there. Jews have been praying on the what they know as the Temple Mount, which is something which is, it doesn't sound much, but it's considered to be highly inflammatory. And I think it comes as a culmination of these growing months of tension between Palestinians and Israelis in Jerusalem, in the West Bank, and now Hamas have decided to move. There's also a symbolic anniversary, and in the Middle East, anniversaries are quite a big deal. It's the 50th anniversary at the moment of the surprise attack in 1973 by Syria and Egypt, which resulted in a Middle East war lasting almost a month, where it was a close-run thing, and Israelis I've spoken to today are calling this Prime Minister Netanyahu's Yom Kippur surprise, when Israel was taken by surprise 50 years ago. And, you know, it could well be that the Hamas planners thought, let's try and do something like that again.
Some years ago, this has been happening. But today, they woke up this morning and found themselves an attack. According to Netanyahu, he said that citizens of Israel, we are at war, not in an operation or in rounds, but at war. This morning, Hamas launched a murderous surprise attack against the state of Israel and its citizens. We have been in this since the early morning hours. Now, he said that I convened the hands of the security establishment and ordered, first of all, to clear out the communities that have been infiltrated by terrorists. This currently is being carried out, he said. He also added that at the same time, I have ordered an extensive mobilization of reserves and that will return fire of magnitude that the enemy has not known. The enemy will pay an unprecedented price. That is warning that is sent to the enemy. Those they came to attack this country, Israel. Now he said again, we are at war and we will win it. That is what he assured Israelites. According to the report that was reported by CBN, at least 40 Israelis are reported to have died and at least 800 wounded, some critically, and some areas were reported to have fallen under complete control of Hamas. So he sent that tweet, and also there's a YouTube video showing how this happened. So they are saying it started 6:30 a.m. where the Syrian blood first in southern Israel around the Gaza Strip, and then in the Negev desert, Tel Aviv area cities, and Jerusalem also. So this has caused destruction in this country because many of the rockets were intercepted by Israeli Iron Dome and record system, but there are reports of rockets having landed inside populated areas. So that's why you can see there are people who have died during this morning invasion by the Israel by this Gaza. Now, according to Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, he announced that special security situation in Israel's home front within about 50 miles of the Gaza Strip, enabling the IDF to provide civilians with the safety instructions and close relevant sites. So there are things which are happening there. Now, according to Gallant, he said that the Hamas, who are the terrorist organization, has made a grave mistake this morning and launched a war against the state of Israel. IDF troops are fighting against the enemy at every location. He added that and said, I call on all of Israel citizens to follow security instructions. The state of Israel will win this war. Now, in his statement, he said that the Hamas terrorist organization had begun a massive shooting of records from the Gaza Strip into Israel territory, and terrorists infiltrated into Israeli territory in a number of different locations. That is what he said. He also added that civilians in the southern and central areas are required to stay next to shelters, and in the area surrounding the Gaza Strip inside shelters. The Hamas terrorist organization is the sovereign of the Gaza Strip and is responsible for this attack. It will face the consequences and the responsibility for these events. That is what he handed in his speech. Now, the former IDF spokesperson Jonathan Corin tweeted and said that this is an unprecedented multi-dimensional attack on Israel designed to kill and abduct civilians and soldiers. Part of the Iranian network of terror, as the extent of Israel casualties of terror casualties will be confirmed. I expect an Israel response never seen before. This is just the beginning. That's what he said. So this country, it is under attack. It is under war, according to what the news we are getting from this prime minister. It is under war. God will bless them. God will lift them. God will be with Israel.